How are the kids?
My kids?
Yes, your kids.
My oldest decided that since it's spring break, he's going to, he said, I'm going to know life all week. And I assume that means he's not going to do anything else. And he's trying to rank up in his video game, like playing competitive.
Okay.
And that fits his obsessive Capricorn nature. So he's been doing that. He called me today and he's like, Dad, I think I'm like one step away from him. I'm like, nigga, the week just started. How did you get there already? So, yeah.
Did he sleep?
He said I was at the museum and he was like, I just woke up. I had to go to sleep because I was going to break my PC because he said all his teams were doing badly. And I'm like, all right, bro. How's your little one?
No, she's good. She, 12, adolescence and all the emotions.
Are you parenting? You know what? We will envy you in silence.
I'm telling you, like on one, and then my niece, Alicia's daughter, she was on one. Like, I'm like,
Well, her
what?
feet were hurting. I was at we were both there. Yeah.
Yes. And I told her, she was at my house. She ended up staying the night Saturday. She was like, I think I'm going to just run a bath and I'm going to use this foot massager. I said, you should.
She's having grown woman issues. Mm-hmm. You should have seen how they was walking off.
I mean, trying to step in tap shoes, that would hurt.
Yeah. My middle boy, he just started running track, and I think he thought he was faster, but he did good.
Yeah.
But he was very demoralized at the end of one of them, at the end of one of his events. But he's learning how to be a warrior. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just have him hang out with the girls because apparently they got the warrior spirit.
Yeah, they fighting, man. They are in it, competing.
Did either y'all like compete in any way growing up?
Yeah, basketball. I was hoping she would play, but she didn't.
We rolling, so you can go on the mic.
Oh, hello.
See, I figured. I could tell by the way you kind of sat up, got on the mic, and now you're asking questions. I was like, oh, shoot. Hello.
Did I compete growing up? Yes, mostly solo. I was a competitive figure skater for a while.
Get out of here. What?
Yes. I started skating when I was 7 and I stopped right around freshman year. Wow. So I was about 15 when I stopped. So I used to travel around the Midwest and compete, and I was usually the only black kid in the whole building.
Right.
I'm sure you got stories.
Yeah, I got a few. Other than that, I was like on the dance team in high school all 4 years and played softball and things like that. But
how did you get into competitive figure skating? Like, that's not a thing. Did you grow up here?
Yes and no. So like my first 6 years, I lived off of 12th Street in Parker Square. And my dad went off to the military, so we were, moving around a little bit. And then we came back here, and I went to Grandview for high school. But
figure skating was not the norm. Right. I thought you were going to say somewhere else, but no, that is not normal.
It's like, I was watching the Olympics in the 90s, and I saw like Christy Yamaguchi,
Yep.
and then her name is escaping me right now, but the black skater that
Saria
did the black
Bonnelly?
Yes, she did the backflip and got and I'm like sitting there watching. At the time we lived in Massachusetts on a military base, and I'm like watching, and I was just like, I want to do that. I told my mom, and she was like, well, black people don't ice skate. And I was like, well, I don't care. I want to do it.
They about to now.
Like, why can't I do it? And so luckily my mom, like, if I am adamant enough, she'll be like, okay, well, you can try it. And I just didn't stop for 7 years.
That's awesome.
I was not expecting to hear that.
I know a lot of people don't expect that.
So like, if you get on the ice now, you a problem.
I mean, I don't know. It's been some years, and honestly, my skates are like warped on the inside, so I need to get some new ones. But I miss it so much. It's one of those things. It's probably like riding a bike. Like once you put the skates on, the real skates, not the ones that you get when you go and you just
the rentals,
yeah.
the brownies of the ice.
Absolutely not. They don't give you any ankle support.
None at all.
I learned that recently. I was up north. I went and I was like, let me just get on the ice because I like can roller skate. So I'm like, maybe it's just transferable, kind of, but no, not with them raggedy skates that they got.
Right.
And it was very different. And on like riding a bike and maybe it'll just come to you. I learned recently after a skating hiatus that like yeah, this is a different body from when I was in my 20s and skating like every weekend.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like I had to
I
learn.
cannot hit the ground. I won't be able to get up.
Oh my god.
Dog. Yeah, you skate
The
safe.
recovery time is just
Right.
I was like,
brutal.
I didn't realize my knee hurt. Just found that out.
Right.
So I had to like learn how to skate with this, grown up body.
Yeah.
So it was weird, man.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I'm gonna intro us in, and he gonna come in and
As it tends to work that
right.
way.
All right, well, welcome to the Ecosystem Podcast. I am not Craig Moore. I'm the other one, Craig Smith.
I'm
Today,
a light skinned Craig.
I'm light skinned Craig. Growing up, I did not know I was light skinned. Like I knew it, but I didn't I didn't identify as like light skinned.
Yeah.
Like people that doing light skin shit. Never did it. Never did. My closest friends are like, that's not a light skin nigga. I don't
It's a
identify.
thing. It's a thing.
But anyway, I'm light skinned Craig. Dark skinned Craig is on the way. He's tardy. But today, is usually myself, Craig Moore, the wonderful, the lady of this house. And by the way, this show is powered by BX Inc. and brought to you in part by, sponsored by the Bevel Barber Lounge. Can I say it like that?
You can say it just like that.
The Bevel Barber Lounge, where you come in here to get crispy.
It's so nice.
And it is a very, very nice space. And so we always want to send our deepest gratitudes to the Murph family for allowing us in this space. And today, our brother Donald is going and elevating his life currently. And so I had to make a call. The first person I thought of, and I don't know if you think I'm just saying that,
No.
but the first person I thought of was Kiana Renee. I was like,
Hey.
we got to have you in this seat
I'm honored
because,
to be here.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, that means a lot. So, I don't know how to intro you other than to say like your energy is infectious. Every time I see you online, it always feels like you have something for me or for the world. Right. And so if you want to give a quick intro of yourself and what you do, you can do that to this camera right here.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for those kind words. It's
Yeah.
good to hear feedback outside of your own brain. I'm Kiana Renee. I'm a creative professional here in Kansas City. My world is the culmination of everything professional photography and patient advocacy. And I just love to teach and love to serve. That looks like many different things. So some people over the years have seen me hosting social events. Some people meet me in the studio. Sometimes I'm in boardrooms and I'm helping the way medical systems work and how they serve their patients and things like that. Sometimes I'm teaching kids. So it just really depends. But my heart is to serve and to give things to people that took me years and years to learn. So I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Now off mic, y'all were talking about, like, how do you know such and such is the one? And, we usually talk more business and ecosystem, hence the name, on this show. But like, how did y'all know that y'all were supposed to be doing what y'all doing?
Mine is easy, but go ahead.
Okay. How did I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing? I'll say this. I actually had a meeting about this morning. Because when I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I felt out of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was unsettling. It's cognitive dissonance. It's just knowing that you're not in alignment. And for me, like, it's alignment with what? And for me, being a God-fearing woman, it's being in alignment with God and what his purpose is for me. So I know what it feels like to not be out of alignment. And because that's so uncomfortable, you just navigate yourself and get yourself back on the path to where, you're still stretching, you're still growing. It's still uncomfortable because you're doing the things that are not normal or maybe typical, for the masses. So yeah, that's what it was for me. It was that feeling of being out of alignment and then doing what I'm doing now to be in alignment.
I love that. Um, are you talking about just like the way that I serve, or like specifically in the realm of photography?
However you heard it.
So I heard it as like a creative. I knew when I was a baby, like between the ages of 8 and 10, that I was a creative, and I was really drawn to photographs. You know how like your parents or your grandparents have those huge photo albums.
Oh, yeah.
And you just flip through them and you're asking questions like, well, who's this person? Who's that person? And I would just listen to like the stories. I fell in love with the storytelling of photographs, of photography. And the first time I saw a professional camera, it was just like, oh my God. And I have been obsessed ever since. And so everything that I've done, I've strategically positioned myself to learn what I don't know already. And to be in rooms that feel a purpose for me to learn how to see people and how to see the world. So when I learned that that's what I was doing, that kind of changed the conversation for me internally, because it's like, well, if I can actually see you and I can say something to you to make you relax, then you actually get to see yourself by way of me channeling, that gift. So I bring that gift of storytelling into everything, and it just basically starts with listening to people and gathering the story.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think for me, as a creative, because I heard myself ask it as like vocation just in general, but there are two things. One was my first camera, which was a Canon XTI, a long time ago, and it fell off the back of a truck.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? Like, somebody, a family member gave it to me, and they're like, you might like this. And and so I started taking pictures, and I was like, oh, that's how they do that thing where the person's in focus and everything's out of focus. And of course, this is before like portrait mode on the phone and all that, or whatever y'all got on Android. And and so I was like, oh my God, this is great. I immediately started making bread doing it, because I was like, I can do senior pictures and all of that. And so like I'd always seen the older, men that my dad was around. They had a studio and they were doing like film and stuff like that. So I always had that, but I was like, that's my portal into it. And then similar to what you were saying, like I worked at a factory and all I thought about all day was my music career. Like that was the thing that was like, dude, when I get out of here, I'm cooking. When I get out of here, I'm doing this. I'm gonna put money aside to do that. And yeah.
I can relate to that. So right out of college, I went and got this expensive, fancy art degree in California. And I was miserable afterwards, because I was like interviewing for all of these jobs to like assist in photography or assist and do this and that. And I wasn't getting any of them. So I took one of the first things, which was accounting, but I worked at a advertising agency. So it's a great first job. You're around a bunch of creatives, but like you, every single day, I was just like, I need to just to figure out a way that I can like talk myself into this or talk myself into that. And like, it almost felt like I was wasting away in that chair working in corporate America. It ate at me every single day.
Yeah.
But and that's such a weird juxtaposition, because the factory paid good, because we could die, but it was like there was no amount of money you were gonna pay me to be comfortable sitting here doing this. Like it would have been, I feel like it would have been treason, like treasonous to myself to make. I worked at a bank, or actually a credit union here. And I remember I was like, on my first day, they had this competition. This is how God works, or the universe works. I was there, and it was this big thing that they were doing at the Sprint Center, at the time Sprint Center. And it was like, they put us all in groups. And this is my first day on the job as a teller. And they were like, come up with a way that we could, like a new product that we could sell or something, just to make the credit union work better, whatever. And I was looking at everything, and I've been reading these like branding books. And so I was like, oh, I need a rebrand. Like, you need to rebrand this place for the people, and do this and do that and make it fun and whatever. And we won, but then they did it. like they rebranded the whole thing, and I'm in these meetings with all of this shit, and they sent me to I'm a teller, bro, and they
Right.
sent me to Nashville to learn this selling technique, and I came back and I was a part of teaching the whole, like all of the branches how to do this selling technique. And one day one of the vice presidents, he and I were just like talking, and he said, you know, Craig, if you pay your and I was in my 20s. He said, if you pay your dues and you hang in there, I can see you being a great CEO of a credit union. I put in my 2 weeks the next day.
You were like, absolutely not.
Like this is
not
where
the
that
vision.
road leads.
Yes.
And I mean, like, sometimes, now listen, that was the first thing I turned down. The second thing I turned down when I met Jesus was a record deal with Strange, with Tech. And to this day, sometimes I'm just sitting around like, nigga, that, questioning my decision making at the time. Like, what led you to say no to that, you know, and what led you to say no to this? But like, I think that there's some cosmic like symmetry to all of it. But I think I've always been really sensitive to that nudge. You know, if it feels dishonest, I ain't gonna be no CEO or no credit union. I cuss one of you niggas out. Like I'm not built for that.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always struggled with how to do that. Like, what's the safe route, and why does it feel so uncomfortable for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that gentleman told you, like, you put in your work, then you could be CEO. I wish that more professions did that for people coming in. You know,
Speaking of coming in,
No.
there he is.
everybody round of applause for Craig Moore's in the building.
Welcome.
Moore's in the building. Oh no, we rolling.
But yeah, I do think that it would be so beneficial if more folks that are in a leadership role in whatever kind of job it is, whether it's, you know, medical or say or whatever it is, and you meet with the person who maybe they have a job offer they haven't accepted yet, and you get with this person, and the person who's in that senior role looks at you and says, all right, this is what your life is going to look like if you stay here. Work really hard, and within 15 years, maybe 20.
Yeah, he had me fucked up.
This is what your life is
Like
going to look like.
he
Like,
had me fucked up.
right?
You think I'm gonna stay in?
I mean, but I also, on the flip side of that, that's probably what he was taught. You know, you just keep grinding, you stay in there, you
he
know,
was being honest.
He was being honest.
And that's what I really did like about hearing that, because I had a vision for my life, and granted that vision was the hard way, but and everybody that sees something in you wants for you to be protected and seen and secure in your pursuit of whatever it is. But like, again, it was, I think he said 7 years, and my 20-something-year-old brain was like, 7 years. I look like, nigga, like I'm not
like,
doing
you know what
that.
I can do in 7 years.
Yeah, and I mean, and a lot was built in that time, and a lot of mistakes were made, and babies were had, but like it wasn't a good transaction for me.
So was he just trying to prepare you for what you got into, or?
Well, so I was telling him, like, I was at a credit union and I was doing all this stuff on behalf of the credit union, and it was like advancing me in their minds. And so one of the vice presidents was like, if you pay your dues, hang in there, I could see you being a head of a CEO of a credit union. And I put in my 2 weeks right after that. And it like, but nigga, sometimes.
I mean, but I think that a lot of those, I guess, like processes or whatever are set up for you to have success. Like if I am building a business and I've learned what it's taken to grow it, and then I've created this training that I feel like other people will have, I don't think that in that, I guess, like, I'm just being a little half glass full, are people like really just being like, I'm trying to keep you here trapped? Or do you feel like it's just the approach, and like what is it that made you be like, hell no, 7 years is not enough for me? Or I'm not going to
7
be here for
years here
7.
would be
Yeah, would
like
be
torture.
Hell, yeah.
Well, for me, I've always known that there was like some path that I'm on that isn't normal. And I know that I have to spend my time in a way that's creative. And that was probably the first instance where it's like, I need to run whatever the fuck I'm doing. Like, I need to have like autonomy because I'll say it unapologetically. Nigga, you could have taught me the systems to run things. You could have promoted me. Like by that time, I had gone from a teller to like one of the niggas that goes and sells loans in their office, right? Like I was an account person, and at the same time, I'm advising y'all's creative process to rebrand this whole organization, and I'm advising the cultural components of this organization, and it's sticking. And it's working, and y'all are expanding. And then right after that, they moved and built this big ass headquarters. Like, I'm providing you the value, but because I didn't pay my dues, you're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's the value exchange that I saw and started to associate with corporate America.
Well, also they have a script, like there's a protocol, there's like steps, there's like things, and there's a bunch of politics that we probably would all hate,
Right.
So, I mean, to for him, he probably was doing exactly what he thought he was supposed to be doing. But for you, you're just like, no, I don't think so. But, you can't really fault certain people for seeing a certain path because that's the only thing that they know.
That's why I quit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna stay here and try to change y'all's process and just put it in your face and be like disgruntled.
Yeah.
In y'all's process.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather remove myself and then go, do what I ended up doing. But that shit was hard because to me, it's agonizing to be in those spots where it's like I have so much more, to break free. I'm a butterfly. I can break free from this and fly around or whatever. But it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I think about those moments in my own like career. Oftentimes, I felt like I probably might have jumped off the cliff a little bit too fast because there were so many times where I felt like Strange Music. When I was working at Strange Music, I felt like I knew the next wave of like how music promotion was going to go. Like I was born in this generation of Facebook. We weren't using social media yet. We were new to Spotify coming out. And so if you know Strange Music, they're the number one independent music label out there. So selling it at your trunk was a thing that you did.
And they sold hard physical copies.
Yeah, hard physical copies. And I remember going to Trav with like 4 or 5 stacks of paper package, like, yo, this is the new way we need, because I'm over promotions, so I gotta order all the promotions that gotta go to our 100+ street teamers that are across the globe, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm being impactful, not just sending a bunch of paper across. And I remember going into the meeting and I was like, yeah, he gonna love this package. He looked at me and he was like, you're my street team guy. The only thing I want you to do is worry about the street team. And I just felt so crushed. But for Strange to be this big behemoth that it is, who was I to say like what y'all doing are wrong? Who was I to be like, this new idea, this guy who just been here 8 months now knows what it means to move this ship into a whole nother direction. And I wonder that if I would have just not necessarily stayed in my place the entire time, but more so have played my role into a way to where they felt like, to where they realized that
they could trust you.
they could trust me,
Yeah.
then I could do more. You know what I mean? So I just oftentimes wonder about those inflection points for folks.
Yeah.
When they're in that space of like, all right, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not being used enough.
I didn't want to be no CEO, no fucking credit union.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like that was the end of the road for that journey.
but how much? I mean, but I bet you learned some shit though. I bet you learned some stuff for you to.
Well, I think what I got out of it was just that system, like that flow, and I learned that I could be impactful in it while Like
Still
now
doing
I'm contracting for, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not on me to become a cog in that wheel. I can contribute to it, but I don't have to be like locked into
Yeah.
it. And that's
Yeah.
why that's the biggest thing I
Yeah.
learned.
That's good. That's good.
And I mean, and for like what you were talking about, Craig, like I love people like you who are, this is what I see, this is what I think could work. You know, it was almost like, I don't know, basketball fans in here, but when the UConn boys just won, I guess they're young men, they're boys to me. They so cute, you know. But the freshman, he shot the 3 and won the game. And what's crazy is that, you know, listen to the commentary afterwards. They were talking about how he started to look for someone else to take that shot. And I love that there wasn't anyone else that he could give, so we had to
It was
take
his
it.
time, yeah.
And it went in. So it's like, I hate it when I see, you know, Craig, people like you or players, you know, so to speak, on the court who maybe they've shot, haven't made it, and so now they don't want to shoot anymore. It's like, no, like
That's
that
good.
3 could be it. You know what I'm saying? So
good.
I just don't want people to be out here discouraged thinking they can't shoot because somebody was like, get on the street team.
Well, I mean, I think that in that instance, I understood what he was saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and maybe there could have been a middle ground of like him listening to me a little bit more or vice versa. Because literally a couple weeks later, they flew in Spotify and had a whole meeting and did not invite me to the meeting.
Oh, man.
You know, but you know, I guess it's just above my pay grade at the moment. Boy, I was heated.
But what confirmation though? Like, see, I know what I'm talking about.
Talking about.
Like,
Y'all had to fly in the whole team.
right.
Right. Well, I mean, like that, you know, and to take it off of Trav, you know, because if you got a deal for me these days, nigga, I'll take it. But where the street team at? But no, like that. There are people who need a certain pageantry or like approach to them in order to take things seriously. And I think, like, in hearing you say that, I think that's what has always fucked with me even since I was a little kid. Like, if I'm saying something, it's because I've observed it, I've thought about it, and I can see it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't take me serious, we might as well fight. Like, I don't. And granted, this is different from the guy saying I could be a CEO of a credit union. That was more expository, but like that, I feel like has the same tension for me as in other instances. Like if Trav would have told me that, nigga, I burned this bitch down. Like, what the fuck do you mean I'm the street team guy?
I mean, I think
Love to Trav. Shout out Trav.
I think all of that lends to, and just a little bit of just like how the world of work is changing, and I think we grew up. We are a generation that, in those instances of like working in spaces, being too creative for a space, I think it's always been like that. But the ecosystem of work has never changed, and I think that it's finally catching up to us, which is probably this is my if we're talking about a little bit of stats of today, there are close to 500,000 Black people who do not have a job right now.
Wow.
And many people are lending it towards the economy,
And that's like the BLS, like looking for a job and don't have one.
Yeah, 100%. Or they are they're on unemployment and they cannot get off of those benefits because there's not a job that they can successfully get. And I wonder, you know, because I think it's the media thing to go against, like, all right, the system is not allowing us to have jobs or whatever the case may be. But I honestly think that we're at this inflection point where geopolitically, yes, things are all right. But at the same time, I think we've been fighting this wave that's been happening in the workforce for quite some time of it's just not fit for the type of genius that we all have anymore. And so I wonder if it's not so much that these 500,000 people need to get a job in the system that it is, or is it now this 500,000 people can take control of the market and start being a true impact into how you should be working?
I'm gonna go with B on that one. No, and you know, and this isn't a diss to, you know, corporate America. You know, serves its purpose. So it is what it is. But I will say, like, in understanding that there are more people of color who, are not working full-time jobs. You got more people of color who are starting their own businesses. And yeah, I'd 100% agree. It is becoming a system where it just doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, even looking at like the school systems, I mean, that structure hasn't changed ever. And like you're training people to become employees, but you get into that arena and you're trying to force it to work and it's just not. So, I mean,
And almost every industry has this like talent lag of like 2 to 3 years of what is being taught in the college system versus what's actually being used
Yeah.
in the industry. And so like I think the only way to solve it is to tear that whole system down.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah, you said you had gotten your degree. Do you feel like you were overeducated for what you ended up doing?
Um,
And maybe
absolutely.
overeducated is a bad word, but
Well, yeah, I honestly I have never really felt like I fit anywhere. Like I've had too many ideas for a lot of jobs that I did have, or too much of this or that. And like I'm the type that like the more I learn about something, I can see where the gaps are, and I automatically want to fix whatever isn't working right so it can be optimal. And so I don't know if I'm like overqualified. I think that like my energy is expansive in any role that I might take, whether it's entrepreneurship or if it's an employee somewhere. And to your point, I think that most systems aren't built for that. They're not built for actually the expansion of a human being. They're built for you to fit into a square or a circle, and that's it. And we can argue about like that's by design because they want people to live these very like sedentary lives where they just go to work and they go home. They don't want you to be creative. They don't want you to think out the box. They don't want your soul and your spirit to be expansive because then you're going to start asking questions.
Yeah. Yep.
And you're going to want more, and so to your point, I want to burn everything down, everything, every single industry down to the ashes. Let's start over.
yeah.
So to me, I think that's where the I don't want to say contradictory, but to me it's a little contradictory of like the role of AI, in these jobs. I think completely right. All of these jobs, you realize what your process was. You found out where you needed people in that process to be comfortable. So then that way, because I worked at Smith Barney at Citibank. Every day I wanted to just be like, no, I'm not about to sell to this old lady who's trying to close down this card and try to get her to be like, she's in mourning she's mourning her husband. I literally got flagged because the lady was mourning her husband. And the computer has seen this is a good opportunity for you to upsell on a new card.
Oh my gosh.
Because the balance is low and this and the other. The balance is low because she just paid, like she paying this stuff off trying to close the joint down.
Right.
Well, you could have seen if she wanted to transfer it to her name and this and the other. She didn't have to use it, but it helps keep and that's like I got pinged because I'm trying to be morally like okay with this thing. I mean, there were times where I skipped it when I didn't want to, where I shouldn't have. But like, I think that, it's truly designed for that. And then they had the restaurants inside of the building, plus the gym inside the building. So it was like
you ain't gotta go nowhere.
You live here now.
Cycle. I literally, and my friends became like the people who I would go to work with, and then then the call center drama happens, and you like, no, I do not want this work to be life, but it really is. And I never survived any of those situations like more than a year or two because it just drained me.
Yeah.
But I think that we are in a new time where those things that we were doing so mundane, or those things, you hear about all the things that it took for me to stay there. They had to get more workout stuff. They had to get more food stuff. And now AI is here. I ain't got to keep this AI agent busy. And so like, do we celebrate that AI is here, or are we really like upset that AI is taking our job?
It's such an interesting question. I want to hear what all you think. I love it as a tool. It helps me do everything faster, but I also understand like the fear that people have or like the uncertainty that people have, but I'm like blown away and I'm not even an expert at it. I just pay attention, and ask questions and go to webinars and tinker around with stuff. What do you guys think about AI?
What's your thoughts on AI?
I mean, I'd agree. I mean, if you use it the right way, like it can make your life so much simpler. But I do understand the fear that it can cause an employee who's like, you know, I'm about to be replaced.
Even a musician.
Well, what's funny about that? Like I was just talking to the guy that runs the firm I used to work for in LA, that if any business would use AI to get rid of people, it's music for film and TV.
Yeah.
And he said business is better than ever. And it's because there's like while AI can do a lot, it can't tailor things as well as you tell AI we need more feeling in it, and then they come back singing "We Are Charlie Kirk." So it's not as hands on as people like for it to be. But I'm curious to see what y'all think about that, because when I think about AI, I'm always on a broad scale thinking if it does displace workers on the scale that we kind of think it might, then what happens to money? And so my brain always goes back to universal basic income. I do have my own thing that I like arguing with like right wingers and ultra capitalists about, and that's it might be Marxist, but like currency's got to go. Like that we got to figure out another way to live outside of like putting money as the stakes for. We need another incentive for work. But I do want to know what y'all think about universal basic income, because it seems like that's the future we're headed to.
Yeah. I mean, it's in I mean, AI period is evolving. I mean, Anthropic had came out with their report on the jobs that are actually going to be impacted by AI, and it's more so like office jobs. It's more so like things that take time for you to write a paper. Like I'm so happy that I didn't take AP classes, because I didn't waste my money, because now I could just use Claude or ChatGPT to do it.
Right.
And I think that when you think of it replacing, I guess, composition or you writing in the same way, it's the same way of it replacing money. Like I just came from Mexico not too long ago, and the opportunity that is there for our currency, because the U.S. currency is being diluted in so many different facets. We just announced that we are insolvent, so we are broke. So Bill Schmills, everybody. But when you think about how the dollar is going down and the fluctuation of gold now and silver now is going up, you see how Africa is taking control of their economy. They're actually closing people off from being able to export things that they actually do themselves.
Yeah.
You have to know that the fluidity of money is going to change. And so the more that we recognize that we're already working in cryptocurrency, like you look at your account right now, them numbers are just numbers. That's just not what's sitting in the bank. I think the more that we start realizing that we're already in that space, the easier it is to accept the adoption of it coming in. Because right now, crypto is hard to navigate in the United States, but you go anywhere else in the world and they're using it like dollars.
What do you think about the idea of what people would say is getting something for nothing in universal basic income?
I mean, that's my thing. You've already been getting something for nothing, in my opinion. Like you are getting, unless I'm misunderstanding the concept.
The idea of universal basic income is really socialist. And I know that like socially, lots of black folks are conservative and they just don't put that title on it. There's something brewing in this conversation, just broadly speaking, when it comes to like how do we take care of people, because they're not going to have like 500,000 black folk. Like they came out and said that the numbers were negative on unemployment as far as job growth, or negative job growth, not negative unemployment, but like
Yeah, because there's no job. There's no new job.
There's no new jobs to
new
get people are
jobs coming
staying
in.
at their
Yeah.
work longer. Like this is gonna change like how our cousins,
Yeah.
our little nieces and nephews, my kids, like how they interact with the marketplace is totally different. And you know, like I'm hopefully I'll pass on millions, but like as it stands, you know, my oldest is about to be looking for a job. You know, like but if there are no jobs, period, what's the attitude around universal basic income?
Go ahead.
I think it probably the conversation for me starts with this always makes me so curious of why we don't view each other as I don't even know the word that I'm looking for. Just like another precious human being. I find that like in the US, most people like we don't have the culture of just like viewing the people that live next to us or that we drive next to as valuable. It's more so like people are a nuisance. There's a lot of irritability and it's like us against them type of thing. But in some other countries, they see everybody as people that they need to take care of. Everybody's their community. So the idea for me of universal basic income, it makes so much sense. Why wouldn't we want each other to have a baseline of survival, period, of healthcare, of food, of all those things. And then we can decide, well, what role does AI play? What role does this play? How do we build after we burn everything down? You know, but like, I honestly, I feel like this is a beautiful time to be in because it feels like chaos, but there's so many beautiful things that come from chaos because we get to decide what we're doing now moving forward. And if we start with somewhere like that, I think a lot of other decisions become easier.
I wonder if that's what it takes though, is the chaos. Because
Absolutely.
like when I think about being in a city like Mexico City wasn't what it is without the Aztec community being
Wiped out.
wiped
Yeah.
out. And it was in a sense of, it almost feels like, because I kind of asked this question to a lot of my counterparts, you know, their perspective on why it's different in the United States than what it is other globally. And it's almost seems like it's because those countries experience this trauma together. In the US, there are various
Was built on a one-sided trauma.
It's
or a couple
not,
one-sided traumas.
yeah. So it's not everybody has experienced the same thing at once that allowed us, when we're rebuilding, now we're thinking about everybody in the rebuild. Like there was hardly any homeless people or houseless people on the street. And when I talked to this young lady from Lebanon about that, she was like, well, it's like that in my country because we all were in the street at one point. And so as we built, we brought people in, we sheltered them, and then that becomes a part of the rebuild culture of nobody, like you might not have it to own your own place, but you're not going to not have a roof over your head. And I wonder if just America has just been spoiled in the sense of like we won't know. It's almost like you don't know that God's the what they say. You don't know that God is your rocket till you hit rock bottom, or in some sense, it's like we all got to hit that place of like, all right, we're now even.
Fall down, but we get up.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I just I feel like my pastor's been preaching that lately too. It's like we are too comfortable, and things are about to get shaken up, and I don't think that we understand. I think I've been blessed to have this new perspective of how the rest of the world is moving. You would think that America is the one that's producing the $1 billion companies, but it's not.
No.
We're just the ones who have founders who are keeping the $1 billion.
Yeah.
Everybody else's founders are recirculating it into the country, and we're actually getting surpassed when it comes to technology.
So can I? All right. So if you feel like answering this is fine.
I feel like answering everything.
But do you feel like in your personal life, in your romantic life, you could be with somebody that doesn't understand all that?
Yes. I think I'm with somebody who don't understand it right now.
Understand what? What can you clarify?
Where the world is going.
Well, that doesn't understand. Actually, this brought into everything we're talking about. Like that doesn't understand vision and the type of vision that sees the world as something that you interact with from a purposeful standpoint.
Probably. It would be hard to be with someone like that just because, like, if we're talking about, say, like empathy, it's one of those things where mostly it's like you feel like if you have it, you have it. And if you don't, you just really don't. And like, how do you really teach somebody empathy that doesn't have it in their heart? So I think if I'm thinking about it that way, yeah, it would be hard to be with someone like that because you're having to pull them along the way to just see people as good and see people as worthy just for being alive and being here now and being worthy of like having very basic things. Yeah.
Y'all are very, see, you know what? All right. I had another question as you were answering that. And I don't know if you're partnered, but I know y'all partners are brilliant. Yeah, but like, could you be with a dumb person?
I've been with dumb people.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, I think
Because I feel like I could to a certain extent.
I mean,
I can't be with someone who isn't willing to learn. I'll put it that way.
Absolutely.
Okay. What does that say, though, about them?
It says that they are looking for more knowledge. It says
No, what does it say
they're,
that they're unwilling to learn?
what?
what does it say about them if they're unwilling to learn?
That they're done growing. And at that point, it's kind of what's your purpose now?
I agree.
I think a man without
What
vision
about-
perishes. So
What about
I
dumb,
can't-
but
Ooh,
like
she
lots
got
of money?
Oh, it's a lot of those type. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think that
Look at Keon.
You know what I was going to say? I was
Dumb
going to say
money.
Grand Rising Queen. Let's lay in the bed all day and just love each other.
Dumb but successful.
Dumb but successful.
How
God.
was that?
I mean,
There's a lot of those out there.
I feel like there's various levels of dumb, and I think
Yes.
that there are people who there are some people who just consciously don't know that they should be wanting more. That they should. They're literally a cog in the machine.
Yeah.
And most of those people don't understand that they need to change until they see the example of what change looks like. And so I think the
I guess that's the question. Do you put yourself in position to try to help somebody change?
oh, that's my toxic trait. I love
Because they might not. They
love
might
me a- I
not.
love
They
me
might
a-
not want to.
a hurt dough. Go ahead,
You know.
poor little baby.
Come on over here.
Come on over here.
I got bandages.
They might not want to.
I
I mean, you know,
resume real quick.
because you have your teachers, you have your doctors, you have these folks that are, since we're talking about like corporate America and things like that, like you have these people that are providing essential services, if you will, and who am I to say that you need to stop being a teacher because you're not making enough money?
I mean, you need the herd, like honestly, and
What?
Yeah.
you need the herd, and everybody
herd.
the herd.
I got you.
Yeah, everybody can't be conscious. Everybody can't be. You need the
Yeah.
people to move along. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like it all works. You know what I mean? Like in the Bible, it says you need two or more for you to make it true. Like you need the masses of people. So I'm okay with being somebody who's not on the same conscious level as I am, because it's almost like I'm gonna stick with my analogy. When a shepherd when a sheep goes off on its way, what a shepherd does is it breaks its leg, and it nurtures it so that way it knows that is the person.
You be breaking them
I'll
down.
be breaking them down, dog.
Lord have
That's that
mercy.
financial
No,
abuse.
he's
But,
married. He's married. He married up.
I'm married now. She
He
financially
married up.
abusing me. Listen, boy. She put my name on that credit card. I see my credit. I was like, I ain't going nowhere. Whatever you need. No, but it's like but I think there's a sense of like you need it. And I don't think that everybody needs to be conscious, because
So I agree with that, but his question was dumb. You're saying somebody that's not as quote unquote smart.
but you're trying to upskill them to where you are in a sense, right?
What if
Or
they
no?
can't get there? You know what I mean? Like
I'm okay
they
with
have
it.
met max.
Let me break your leg real quick.
Break your leg.
Oh my God.
Lord have mercy.
No, sorry, I'm running away with this analogy. No, but I don't. I feel like that is okay. because I don't want to. I've been in those relationships where me and that person are boom, 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 like we're conscious. We talk, we on the same level, and that shit is exhausting as hell because there's not a moment where I could just, can we just watch Housewives and be cool? You know what I mean? There's always this being on.
But that also is just a conversation of saying, I just want us to be us for 15 goddamn minutes or whatever. Sorry, I don't know if you guys are okay with cursing.
Oh yeah, we
But,
shit all day.
you know, that is just.
What you pointing at me for?
He's been dropping all of them on this mic.
So sorry.
Yo, I've been thinking of like, sorry, side note. I'm thinking like maybe in post production we do an N word counter, and every time we say nigga, it goes ding.
Yeah,
Or
and be like,
you gotta say, give us free.
where the hell
It's gotta be something funny.
Amistad come from?
I'm sorry.
Kiana.
But no, like I agree with you because I don't always want to be on. I don't need to have intellectual conversation all the time. Sometimes I just want to laugh and be stupid or whatever. But also, like, I don't know, I just keep going back to the word that you chose. You said dumb. Like, I feel like that's a different energy rather than someone who's open to learn and wants to change, somebody that just doesn't know, or someone that is a part of the herd. Like, all of those things are okay. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with any of this, but like, to your question about being in a relationship with someone, if you are truly someone of service and someone who's always growing, and I'm pretty sure all of us in this room, we grow very rapidly, we think quickly, we evolve at such a high rate of speed, at least someone that can keep up with you. Like, it can't be someone that's quote unquote dumb.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work for people who are moving in that space? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, my thing is, if they dumb and they know they're dumb, and shit, now I hate that I use that word.
You said it. That's why I'm like, okay, we're going with dumb.
Because I don't want to be mean about it. It's just more like
What makes them dumb?
that they're like, okay, if
Know better and not do it.
well, that's not how I'm using it though. It's more like, oh shit, there's no way out of this. Another word would be simple. Like simple-minded. Like there's this box of knowledge that they got, and that's all that's going to be in this box. It's more like a failure to compute than it is a lack of ambition or a lack of, like.
Oh, literally, they just not getting it.
Yeah.
I know I can't.
And so like I think as somebody who is probably a lot when it comes to like my ambition and my thought patterns, and when I nerd out on some shit, you gonna hear about it. Like somebody that could just in one ear and out the other is probably like a godsend for me because it's like I don't need you to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you still need a little bit of sponge to capture what you're saying, because talking to a blank wall is still just talking to a blank wall. You don't get nothing out of it, and you really
might get your laundry done.
But then it begs another question.
I'm sorry.
It begs another question though. Like,
You do all the thinking for us. Generate that income. Are you hungry? I ain't got to think about nothing.
Oh my god!
Come on.
This is not a good look for me.
I mean,
There's nothing wrong with that.
no, I agree with you. Are they bringing something else to the table? Like, are they caring in some way? Are they really nurturing? But like, I don't know. When you use the word dumb, I was just like, across the board? Like, no. But
Yeah, that could have been presented differently. Sorry, dumb
well,
people.
no, it's cool. But like, so what you were just saying was making me think about like, in one ear, out the other or whatever. My question to you would be like, at any point, do you actually want someone to reflect back to you what it is that you're sharing with them?
Yes, and I think I've found that in many ways. It's like if the situation were that this part, like this is it, and we have a connection that, or a lifestyle preference that is synergistic or whatever, and it feels like we can go in the same direction together, equally yoked of the mind and spirit, like we can head in this direction and complement each other. Like the intellectual part is something that I could find somewhere else.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that's a big question mark. But I think the way you just prefaced it is fair. I was just totally thinking of just like dumb. There's nothing else, and maybe that says a lot about me. But I was just like, how can you live? I don't know. But yeah, I get that. If there's other things that are coming, like I said, coming in with the relationship, it's fulfilling in other ways. And obviously, you don't just use your partner as someone as the end all be all to everything. You use your community, your friends, and family, and things like
You
that.
would hope so.
Speaking of dumb couples.
Not gonna let it
Okay.
go.
Yeah, y'all know. I'm with it. It's just people who have had conversations that I feel like, all right, both of y'all is dumb. Y'all probably shouldn't be talking anymore. I want to talk about if y'all into it, Nick Cannon and Amber Rose's recent conversation.
Wait, what?
Have y'all heard
I
about?
have not heard it.
I have not.
Well, I don't know the full context.
Okay.
Like I know Nick Cannon came out and said that the Democrats were the ones that were the KKK.
Yeah.
And that the Republicans were the ones that freed the slaves. And he's accurate on that.
Is he?
Yeah, Lincoln was a Republican.
I mean, that's true. But then there was,
And then they used to call them Dixiecrats.
that's true. But there was also a moment where those black Republicans, there was a big shift over it because there was some, I believe that there was some, I'm gonna find the video. Go ahead. Can you give more context?
Well,
on
all of it was planned. I mean, like it's politics, and politics is as old as Julius Caesar and beyond. So with the Democratic Party being, especially in the South, as racist as they were, they started to lose ground and favor over time. And so they, eventually fought the Republican Party by catering to black folks. Like it was a political plan. Like, y'all ain't loyal to these niggas, 14, 15, whatever, nigga, 15, 16, whatever that was. But like all of it is a plan. Like I ain't no allegiance to either one of these. You know what I'm saying? Like I think now it's hard for somebody like Nick Cannon to say that when you've got Nicki Minaj out there. What's up to the Knicks these days? Like you got Nicki Minaj out there saying what she's saying. Recently somebody was just talking about how Snoop's tone changed, and they were kind of relating all of the rhetoric change in favor of the current administration to leverage to the administration or the person at the head of the administration having some sort of cultural leverage over these people to sign pardons or to give out, whatever the hell else perk.
So
he had.
people truly are thinking that the Republicans for this long or the Democrats for this long have just been tricking us into believing that we should stay Democratic this entire time.
Well, I mean, they've been the non-racist party. Like Reagan and Reaganomics and the war on drugs was seen as something that was weaponized against black folks. It didn't make Bill Clinton and them putting, with their hard on crime message any less, racially coded, but it's all politics. Like the system is racially set up to discriminate against black folks, period. And it's because of the distance that not just white folks, but everybody else wants to have from this idea of being property. And so if the politics says that this is the way to do it, they're going to do that. That's where their money is. That's where the vote is. These people just want to keep a job. Like it, and I don't know what else Nick said though.
No, so I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. Not necessarily Nick's comment because Nick and Amber Rose are just pretty dumb, to say the least.
Another example of somebody that's probably simple. Fuck, I don't know. Nick. and Nick, if I ever meet you, bro, let's talk about
like cut me a check. But still, like
bunch of kids.
I mean, there was this argument between the difference between a conservative and a MAGA person, which he was saying like, I'm a conservative, I'm not a MAGA person, and this and the other. So that's the reason I'm not trying to get into their conversation. This is more so from Isaac Hayes III and what he said about what Nick Cannon left out in this conversation, and we'd love to get y'all's responses to it.
Bless you.
What Nick Cannon said about the KKK and the Democratic Party. Because I'm not here to bash Nick Cannon, but I'm here to correct Nick Cannon. And Nick, I hope you received this very, very well. In the late 1800s, Southern Democrats were absolutely the party of the KKK. 100%. They believed in slavery, They wanted black people to remain slaves and have no rights. In the North, the Republicans, the party of Lincoln, had abolitionists and people that wanted to have see black people have rights. That is the truth. But here's the part that everybody leaves out. In the 1960s, Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Those two pieces of legislation drove the majority of the racists out of the Democratic Party to the Republican Party. And that's the shift in the part that everybody leaves out, because that was a huge political shift in this country. And what that's called is party realignment, right? Where the ideas of a political party switch. Political parties are not static. Switch. Political parties are not static. They can change over time and the ideas can shift. And so that was a huge shift in the Republican and Democratic Party.
So for me, as we're talking about elevating partners, or we're talking about, I think that there is a time right now where we kind of have to re-educate ourselves in how things, or how we perceive things, or how we receive things. And so just wanted to get you all's responses to, we are in this thing of misinformation is being spread out. And like, I think what you kind of brought to that example of, I wouldn't call them our leaders, but our influencers are influencing us to do things in certain ways. Like, how do you all on your regular basis, how are you all weeding through the misinformation or information that you do know to help you be more conscious in today's time?
I defer to these brilliant women.
We always look at each
I
other.
know.
Ask the question again. I'm sorry.
How are you navigating weeding through, the misinformation or information that you're receiving now, understanding like the evolution that our government or our world is kind of going through? I'm considering what it means to be a global citizen and not just a U.S. citizen. Have any of those thoughts come across y'all's mind? And then how is the past kind of helping you make those decisions on what's true and what's not true? Because I've always believed, like, I've always heard that, like, we started off as Republicans. There was this big shift, and now we're Democrats. And I know, and so I've kind of always swayed wherever my parents gone. That's always been the thing that I've done. But like, now that I know what I know now, would I change it?
That's my issue. And I guess this is a way. And sorry, brilliant women, but like, this is a way that I've always been at odds with, like, the mass media and the story of because there's so much that is left out. Like, if you look at our world as a checkerboard, then obviously one thing leads to another, and this is where we end up where we are. But there is this, like, I think the word is confluence of like so many things that contribute to where we are now that it can't be summed up in a two-party system.
Right.
It can't be summed up in one side versus the other. And like, I always think about the abortion debate. Like, if on one side you're saying it's wrong to kill babies, and you're arguing with somebody who's saying this is my body and I have autonomy over it, we are having two different conversations. And we will never get to a middle ground because it's the basis is fucked up. So when it comes to like receiving information, my litmus test for like bullshit is usually how far are we swinging in the direction of like making my opinion change about someone or something. So right now, I just saw it on the phone. Like, Hassan Piker is being met with allegations of bigotry. Hassan Piker, young white man. He's sort of the answer to the Joe Rogan, more right leaning masculine figure. I call bullshit on him because it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's not important to the fight of what we've been trying to accomplish. It is like, you're putting this left leaning, supposed to be a black ally person in front of me to say, "Oh, did you know he's actually bigoted?" Like
Yeah.
bullshit. Like, I don't. Who
Yeah.
fucking cares? And I don't know why I'm so passionate about that, but because I think that is because it's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
exactly.
offended by it. If I feel like games are being played, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I can scroll in what's that nigga's name? 21, 22, need the N-word count. There's this guy, black dude, but he's like the MAGA black dude. And when he posts a video, it's him in front of the and if you MAGA and you love MAGA, right on, do your thing. Don't come near me. But like it's him on a green screen, and he'll show like a video of black people fighting in the street, and he's like, see, this is why, and this is da da da, like, and nigga, oh shit. It's people like him that make the honest attempt to find some meaning in the world, or it's behaviors like that make the honest attempt to try to find meaning in the world, meaning in what is going on right now, like so fucked up. So my litmus test in how people are doing is like it doesn't align with like a quest for truth. What you're doing is elevating some weird fucked up self-hatred that you've got to the point of fact to try to make your base happy, and you probably don't even believe that shit in the first place.
It's almost
Bitch
like
ass nigga.
It's almost like the evolution of cancel culture in a way, a little bit. And I think I think it's even apparent now when you see so many prolific figures who have made very, very big impacts globally to us. Their dirty laundry is being aired out. Like Cesar Chavez, like that was, I don't know if y'all heard about that story, but for him to be such a pillar in the farmers community for farmers' rights, especially outside of the U.S. And then
What Cesar Chavez do?
Well, a 90-year-old lady just came out and said that she had two babies by him. Against her will, and has been hiding those babies for quite some time now. And now all of his entire name and everything that he's ever done is now being erased and flipped over. And so it's like this.
Got to do Gandhi next.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you balance this?
You don't.
Space of information that is coming out.
They're working on something.
Okay.
I don't balance any of it because there's no room on my scale. Because when I hear about these things, it's noise to me. To me, it comes from a desire to distract and create confusion and chaos. And we know who the author of chaos is. And I'm not going to put myself in a position to be played with. So I focus on the things that matter. Now, if there are things, politically going on that I need to know about, I'm husband, what do I need to know about? Like, because I don't have the capacity to take in every single, like, new thing that's coming out about someone that's so horrible. And then by tomorrow, you done forgot about that. And now it's on to the next person, and I see people online and they're just flipping out. And I'm like, you done expended all this energy. You mad, you sad, you angry, you vigorously like responded to strangers on your comment, like, and then the next day,
it's all over.
It's all over.
I'm still looking for Drake's baby though. I know you got a daughter.
The daughter?
Yeah, I know you out there.
I mean, so I agree with you both. It's taken me a little while to respond because so much of how I feel is indifference, and I know that sounds terrible to a lot of people.
That sounds very peaceful.
I think a lot of people are trying to get to indifference.
That sounds very peaceful.
And even like you started off saying, like these influencers, they've never influenced the fuck out of me ever. Like I've never really cared, so to speak. I've paid attention to certain things because I am a human and I live in the US and I have to know some things that are going on. But mostly I'm just kind of like watching because to your point, I know that it's a game and I know that whether we want to believe it or not, they are two sides of the same animal. And I don't truly believe that our political leaders or influencers or whatever you want to say, I don't believe that their goal is really to have things work well so that people can be well and so that we're led with heart and integrity. I don't think that that's their goal on either side. So it's like how I can't respect anything that's going on. It does make me angry if I do have a feeling associated with it. Angry because there's so many people suffering from the decisions that they make. Like angry because they are in positions of power, that they have the power to make certain decisions, that they're not listening to the community here in the U.S., and that angry that there's so many people that believe the bullshit that they spew from their fucking mouths. Like it infuriates me because sometimes I know that there's nothing that I can say. There's no perspective that I can give to be like, hey, might be what it truly is. It's probably not what you think it is, because people are so drawn to the drama, to the play that is our political system. So I don't really keep up with a lot of stuff. I don't really care about a lot of stuff. I care about people suffering. I care about people being lied to and manipulated. I care about those things a whole lot, but like I can't take any of those people seriously.
Yeah,
Like not really.
And you're right. It's truly a play, because like
Yeah.
it's like the rest of the world looks at it as entertainment. Of like, literally the conversations that I had over the last week was like, how do y'all deal with it? Like how are y'all? And I'm almost like, I don't think that I have been dealing with it because I haven't really been responding to it outwardly. I've probably been responding to it internally, but I haven't been responding to it outwardly. One, I feel like my first as all this stuff started coming up, especially this year, I'm like, I'm black and it ain't got nothing to do with me.
Or at least it's somebody else's turn
Yeah,
to get
somebody
up in arms
else's
about it.
turn. But when I travel outside this country, like, nah, they lumping us in with everybody, and they like, no, you voted for Trump. I'm like, no, there's a system. Like,
Well, that's interesting. Like when I was in Europe, that we wasn't lumped in the.
man, psh,
But I will say, like, I think it is mostly an act. I think self-preservation is rampant in our political system. There are probably loads of staffers and people that work for this current executive administration who are secretly Democrats, and vice versa. You know, especially in Hollywood, I would meet so many of these people that were, you know, in this blue city, so they had to put on. But then, you know, when Trump got reelected, they turned out to be, you know, and then they never worked again unless it was a Christian movie. But when it comes to all of this, like it is theater. It is a game that's being played, but this is the system that we live under. And it's a system that is, we use the word corrupt. So then people who adhere to the system and have faith in it and believe in it, they think that we're saying like, you're fucked up for believing this thing. But it is a well orchestrated, very old way
Absolutely.
of guiding the masses into participation. The thing to remember though is, you know, like they made sure that like all of the Hebrew slaves didn't wear the same color, because they didn't want everybody to look around and see that there was more of them than there were of their overseers and their masters. And that always rings true. I hate the, like, they're just trying to keep us divided so they can control us, but it is real to a certain extent. And the way that you combat that, because I feel like we always open the wound and we never like suture it closed. Like, read books, talk to people, turn the damn phone off and go, like, you know, they say touch grass, but like the more people I talk to, the more people that I'm understanding I have things in common with that don't necessarily look like me. And by all means, get your passport and get your dumb ass out of this country and go see what it's like elsewhere, because you'll see that systems are broken all over the place and that you're not alone in this. And there are more of us than there are of them. Once we all click up and start doing this thing together, then there is change to be had, because this is not like last thing I'm gonna say, because you know, but I've been frustrated for the last decade because I started seeing that the fights, the tribalism, the ostracization, the like all of these things that we do to each other online or on these platforms, these are all things that we did pre-technology.
Yeah.
We are barbaric to each other with the technology that we have now. And you would think that the psyche that is able to build and to adapt to all of these changes and, drive up and down the street and fly airplanes and do crazy shit. You would think that we would have evolved to a point where we don't need to do that to each other, given the massive amounts of power that we wield just as a regular person. Yeah. You could tweet right now and somebody in Afghanistan will see it. Your power is uncontainable right now.
I don't think people see that as their own power, though. They see that
No,
as
they don't.
Well, they do, because they use it to hurt each other.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
But they don't really know. They don't, like, to your point, I don't think people really understand.
Mm.
They take for granted our access to any and everything. It's seen as normal. But if you really sit around and think about how much power your words have, your fingers when you're typing stuff out, how much reach you actually have, it might freak some people out if they really, really saw it. I don't think people do.
Yeah, my therapist says the 3 things that you can control is your attitude, your approach, and oh my God, it's another A. And
Action.
I always
Your ass.
and your action.
Sorry.
Your attitude,
Control your ass out here.
your approach and your actions. But the truth is always going to be the truth, and you're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to soften how hard the truth is. And that's usually what we do with those 3 A's, is try to soften how hard the truth is. But if we can control those things the right way, then the truth is always going to land the way that it's going to land. And you don't really have no control over that. When you all are, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry, y'all. It's a weed. But we gonna wrap. All right. I do want to wrap, but I want to wrap on this last one. This the foundation organization that kind of built this is called Black Excellence, and we talk a little bit, this last little thing that I want to talk about, and I think it kind of leads into what Craig was saying about like how when we don't recognize we're the masses because we have all of these different labels, you know what I mean, upon us, and if we can remove those labels, then what could our world actually be? And I think one of those labels that I think that especially now I'm fighting with a whole lot, and I've seen a lot of our community fight with, is Black excellence. And the question in this video is Black excellence steeped in classism? And so I want to do a little bit of video, and then I want to get y'all responses, and then we can be up out of here.
Let's go.
All right.
Love the video activities.
I have an unpopular opinion.
Shoot.
I think that Black excellence is classism in a costume.
Ooh.
Expound on that one.
I think that when people say Black excellence, I think it's a dog whistle for people who are able to afford premium education, for people who are able to cross over into mainstream non-Black audiences, and for people who accumulate a lot of wealth. You rarely hear Black excellence being extended to people who are just everyday people who are doing well by the community around them. That's rare. And so when I see people talk about Black excellence, I'm just like, just say what you really mean. This person is on Forbes billionaires list. Like, just say that.
Well, listen, I know we're going to have some folks.
Wholly disagree.
Yeah,
Totally.
Same.
Totally.
Okay, come on.
No. Wait.
No, come on, let's go.
I disagree with him because I think that stance is how it's like a Freudian slip, almost like you have that in mind.
Yes.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
that's what you feel when you hear that.
Yeah.
And maybe you look down on certain people. Now I don't know that brother from
Or you've been
Adam.
excluded from a group that said that they are Black excellence.
Well, and it's all context, right? Like the highs and lows of like, oh shit, y'all gonna just have to be my cousins today. But like a hood rat here and a hood rat in Compton, they got things in common, but like the hood rat in Compton views Black excellence different than the hood rat here. Oh shit, y'all looking at me like I'm all right, let's take it off hood rats because I love y'all and I'll but the thing that was the thing that was blatantly clear to me in a big city like Los Angeles, or when you go somewhere where there's a lot of money, and there's a lot of money here in Kansas City, but there's not like the
Crazy amount
it's
of
not Miami
yeah,
money.
yeah.
You know, like, and it's not flaunted like that. Like if
Yeah.
you see a Lamborghini here, people take pictures.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't happen there. So when I moved to LA and you lived in LA, like, you know, I saw a very nice Ferrari, like a Ferrari California, driving past the dude sleeping on the sidewalk, and then it clicked for me, and I was like, "That's the levels here, like that type of wealth, because that's just his Tuesday car."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, for that homeless guy, unhoused person, he's looking at that, and it's normal to him.
Yeah.
Like that, those are the rich people. They live up in them hills. But here, if you are, you know, let's say unhoused, not even unhoused. If you're somebody that's scraping by or trying to make it, or like, you know, you want to be an entrepreneur, but you know, you never done it, or like the people that he's kind of describing as not black excellence, they look at black excellence here as, why do they have it?
Yeah.
Like that is closer to me. I should be able to attain that, or and nothing special about them. Like on if we're speaking about it in the negative terms, because it's so much closer. Like the gap isn't as wide as it is in a place like LA. So when he's talking about it, to me, I hear you just live in a big city.
Yeah.
Like, because it's the wealth, it's the Martha's Vineyard black, you know, but we ain't got no Martha's Vineyard. So like when we talk about black excellence here, it's not that dramatic as probably what he's witnessing.
And I think it's even far more different. I would say, like,
I walked up and down Prospect for that one. I'm sorry, y'all.
man, you good, but when I think of black excellence, I think of Chicago. I think of like your first Black Mirror and the pride that they have
Harold
in
Washington,
having
come on now.
in their first Black Mirror, and then how the pride that they have to know that they are in a southern state and still being able to be the state that they are, to have the wealth that they have. And so when I think of black excellence, I think of the accomplishment aside from all the things, but I think with that it comes wealth, it comes stature, it comes the
Or maybe it
leadership
doesn't. Like
opportunities.
it pride in yourself, in your ambition, and in your like taking your struggle and making something out of it. I think that is a part of that conversation of just excellence in general. It ain't gotta be, you know, like, you nigga, you made it. You made it because you're in the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when I think about excellence, whether it's black or not, it's very rarely in accomplishments or things that you can accumulate. For me, it's more internal. And so I don't care about how much money somebody makes or what kind of car they drive or anything like that. I want to know about their character. Like, what about them, about who they are as a human makes them excellent, and how they are, how they're connected to their community. So like, even if you take, for instance, like a family, even if a family doesn't have much, but they love really deeply and they take care of each other, like that is excellent to me, you know, or the heart of like the grandfather or the mother that's steeped in integrity. Like, to me, that's what I think about when I think about excellence. And so when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, it doesn't compute to me, because so what, they got money. So what does that mean?
Right.
Like, why does that make them excellent? Because they've accumulated something that they can lose tomorrow. I that never connects for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of just back to the point before this is the media. The media portrays black excellence as these very deep, nice pictures. You see when I think of black excellence, I think of like the brunches that they have, the Grammy brunches and all that other stuff. That's what the media portrays.
Right.
But internally, we see black excellence as something completely different.
But then also, we've made an agreement with what we're shown. Like, so people can show you anything. You can have a platter, a gold platter that's got shit on top of it. Oh, this is a delicacy. Am I going to believe that just because that's what you're telling me? Like, we have a choice to believe and to agree to what it is that we're seeing, but we're not making that choice. I think that's part of the conversation too that we're not having. And that goes across the board.
Yeah. I love what you said about family. My family had a family reunion a couple years ago, and my cousin, you know, she helped coordinate the whole thing. Shout out Amber, I love you. But she had, you know, and this is on my mom's side. She's got 5 brothers, 5 sisters. Okay, big family, lots of cousins. And one thing that my cousin mentioned about our family is like she would go to other people's like family events and she would see like fighting and arguing and bickering and just all this negativity. Like she thought our family is normal and she realized really quick that it's not. You know, our family, we truly love each other. We want to be around each other. It's we don't get hotel rooms. We staying up in somebody's house and we are there all kicking it all night and then up for coffee the next morning because we just can't get enough of that love. And I'm with you. To me, like that is Black excellence. It's that genuine love that propels you maybe to do the things. Like when someone asks me, like, well, what is Black excellence? And I'm like, Black excellence is a mentality.
Exactly.
It's a mentality. And does it end up becoming, you know, wealth? A lot of times it does. But it's that mentality of being Black, coming from those experiences generationally and deciding, and I love how you always like to say like the audacity to go and do amazing things regardless of your circumstances. Like to me, that's Black excellence. Like, you know, it's presenting this plan, you know, to the music company like, hey, this is what I like. That is Black excellence.
That's good.
I completely agree.
We wrapped.
We are Black excellence.
We are Black excellence.
All right.
Sorry, I don't know how to wrap this.
Well, you didn't start it. So, all right.
Call it CPT time.
We would definitely want to thank Miss Kiana Renee for joining us
For having me.
today. Thank you.
She's
You
gotta
did
come
so well that, you know, Don gonna have to sit in the stool next to me when he comes
Yes.
back. No, but this is the Ecosystem Pod. We do need a sign off. We need like a defined.
We probably can I pre-record something and then we just
No, you just got to remember it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I need a good sign. I don't know when I want to do something, but I just don't know what it should be.
All right. Well, kumbaya, nigga. Peace. We out.
See you at the next time.